Hello again, and thank you for joining us for another special program from Vienna, right in the area of St. Stephen's Cathedral. With me today is Christian Zulus, who works with the Military Chaplaincy in Vienna. And we're going to find out in a minute what that is, but let me begin by greeting you. It's so
Hello.
good to have you on the program. Thank you for joining us.
My pleasure.
Okay, first of all, what is the Viennese chaplaincy in Vienna? You are a parish in the area of Schönbrunn, which is a famous palace here. And you are both church and you also have a concert hall.
Yes.
And these work together. And a study center as well.
Jakob Kernhaus.
Okay. Now, I was under the impression that you were serving military by military coming to the chapel, but that's not actually the case. Who is it who comes to your chapel?
That's usually the people living around us in Hitzing. They're very, very nice houses, very beautiful villas and so on. Mm-hmm. And our services are really Catholic services.
That's wonderful to hear.
Yes.
And you have Mass once a week?
We have once a week on Sunday evening, and we have often after the service a classical concert in the concert hall.
And I understand you also do rosary. Is it before Mass?
Yes.
That's wonderful.
Rosary is at 17:15 before the Mass at 6.
Right before the Mass at 6. That's lovely. Your chaplain, for whom you work, his name is Father Harold Tripp, T-R-I-P-P, almost like the Von Trapp family, but with an I.
Yes.
And he's a Brigadier General.
Yes.
He's also working for the Archdiocese of Vienna.
For the Military Diocese.
For the Military Diocese of Vienna.
Of Austria.
In Austria.
Yeah.
And what you do is actually not so much in the church. It's not like the military come to you. You go to the military.
Exactly, yes.
So tell me where you're working, in what countries, and how you minister to the soldiers in the field.
We work on peace support operations. We are a neutral country. Mm-hmm. We have no combat missions.
No combat missions, okay.
Like United States or Britain.
Mm-hmm. So rather like Germany then, yeah.
It's more or less like Germany.
Yeah.
But lesser than Germany.
Even less than Germany, that's pretty
because Germany is NATO and we are neutral.
Yes.
Yes. So we have for many, many years we are in Bosnia.
Okay.
Just after the war finished. We are for many, many years in Kosovo. Mm-hmm. And we have been at Golan.
Angola?
Yes, but we finished it, it was 2 years ago, because it was too dangerous.
Oh, okay. Because it sounds like these are mainly humanitarian missions for the military, where you're assisting.
These are so-called peace support operations.
Peace support, okay. I'm not a military person, so I'm trying to interpret that
and we
as a
have been
female.
in Chad, Central Africa, also very successful.
And where else? Switzerland?
We work together with Swiss soldiers in Kosovo.
Okay.
We have one camp with them together.
So what you do is there are soldiers in all of these areas. You will work with them in the field, and you will also work with them if they come home with problems. For example,
of course, yes.
Readjusting to normal life or post-traumatic stress, these kinds of things.
But we are also, for all problems, usually the soldiers come to the chaplain. And not to the psychologist, because there's other form of relationship between the recruitee or the soldier or the non-commissioned officer to the priest and to an army psychologist or to the captain or...
Yeah, they're looking for something spiritual.
Yeah.
And spiritual support, I can't remember who it was, whether it was, I think it might have been Freud. He said he had very few Catholics who came to him because by going to confession and fulfilling their spiritual needs, he said he found that very few needed psychological care. Yeah. And I'm imagining that the military chaplaincy, by ministering to these soldiers, fills a hole in the heart there, you know, that it is left a bit scarred by their actions in foreign countries. Is that true?
That's true, because the military chaplain lives together with the soldier abroad.
Okay. Now tell me, you were telling me before, but for an American audience, I'd like them to understand the system in Austria, there's not just one chaplain, there's three. Explain how that works. There's three religions that are represented by the military chaplains here in your military system.
We have our own diocese.
Uh-huh.
We have 9 countries, 9 federal states, but 10 dioceses. Because our diocese...
And 2 archdioceses among them, yes.
Is for whole Austria,
okay,
and for all soldiers of Austria abroad.
Okay.
But on the same level like the other dioceses.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And you said that the chaplains...
We have about 35 military chaplains, priests.
Oh, okay. That's quite a few, I would think.
That's quite a few, yes.
And you said there are also Protestant chaplains and Orthodox chaplains as well.
Protestants from the very beginning, since the late 1950s, the Austrian army. And Orthodox chaplain, we have one for already 2 years.
Okay.
And we are very much interested in the ecumeny with the Eastern Orthodox.
Ecumenical relations with the Eastern Orthodox, yes. Explain to me exactly what the Preceptory of St. Lazarus is.
The Preceptory of St. Lazarus is a small unit of male soldiers.
Okay.
And this has historic roots of the Crusades.
Really?
Yes.
So,
the Preceptorates.
And you're the head of this group?
It's a very small group of soldiers within the Austrian army.
It's a lay group, we should say.
A lay group.
Yeah.
Who are also members of the chivalric order of St. Lazarus.
Okay. And where did the name come from? Is it because of the history that you just mentioned?
It's a history from the Crusades.
From the Crusades.
Yes.
And what does this group do?
Humanitarian work, collecting money for some humanitarian projects in the Holy Land.
In the Holy Land,
yeah.
Okay. So you collect, and do you do prayer exercises together, or go to Mass together, or anything, or is it purely...
On the special days for
on special days.
St. Lazarus and so on.
Okay. One thing I also want to mention is we need to talk about St. Jakob Kern, which would be Jacob Kern in English. You have part of your military chaplaincy is named for him, the study house,
yes.
where people can come and study. And he's not a name that's well known to us. Can you explain who he was?
He was a very young lieutenant in First World War. And he was regarded at his time on the front. It was in the South Tyrolean front. It's a very difficult life situation area.
Well,
there.
if it's the front, it would be very dangerous.
It's about 2,000, 3,000 meters high.
Oh, wow, okay.
And he was, he didn't yet finished his study in theology at this time, but he was already regarded as a living saint by his comrades, by the other soldiers. He was praying a lot together with the soldiers, and he was giving them a really spiritual backup. And he was almost deadly wounded in the Alps. And after the war, he finished the study of theology, got a priest.
He became a priest, yes.
Went to a monastery in Lower Austria, Monastery Geras, so-called Premonstratenser in German.
Okay, I'll take your word for it. And you said he died very young.
Very young, in his early 20s.
Why did he die from? Was it from his wounds of the war?
From the wounds, yes.
So, and so you've named, obviously, he being a soldier, he's a good patron saint for your study house.
Yes, and he was the first person beatified from the Austrian army.
First soldier ever beatified who was in the Austrian army.
The second soldier was Emperor Charles I.
I did not know that. That's wonderful to know.
He's one of the rare emperors.
Yes.
And the only one of the 20th